And, this projection here, I could see that being about right.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm with you. I mean, hopefully it's a little better, but yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense with the projections and everything. Defensive WAR negative 5.7. And while we're talking about him, might as well go to Diaz. Diaz, they have him a little bit down from offensively 94 WRC plus, but defensively a 3 positive WAR. And so, and they have him, 38 games, 152 plate appearances. So maybe this year
projection. So, he hasn't played a whole lot previously, so that's about right.
And maybe this year, we've seen Cervelli with the concussions and everything. So maybe, I don't want to say like a 50-50 split per se, but maybe, Diaz does see a lot more time behind the plate.
Let's just bring something up off topic. All right. So obviously Cervelli's in his last year. And as we mentioned, how this team could get creative. And Cervelli could potentially open up $11.5 million in cap space. What do you think of the odds of Cervelli getting traded this year?
I think they're low. I'm not saying that somebody, wouldn't go out there and trade for him. I think there'd be somewhat of a market for him. You might not get too much with, 1 year left or whatever. But I think I just don't see them going with, Diaz and Stallings for a whole year. I think with Cervelli, with the bat that he showed last year, I just feel like they hold on to him. It's the Pirates we're talking about. Do they really need to cut, though, $11.5 million? I mean, the payroll is pretty low as it is. And we've mentioned the free agency. There's not much out there. They're not going out and signing Patrick Corbin.
Well, there is stuff out there. There's a lot of good stuff out there.
But they're not signing Patrick Corbin.
Well, right. It's what they really need, if the roster stays the same.
They need a shortstop,
isn't really out
there. But it's not out there, right? So I think Cervelli stays. I just don't.
I think it's about a 40-60. I think it's about a 40% chance he could be traded. And I do. I think the Packers have to be right. But, maybe you just roll the dice on Diaz. He's shown last year that he's playable. I don't know if I really trust him over a full season. The full at-bats weren't there. But, maybe, again, you can't take a whole bunch of gambles on this team. So it's not you're not saying let's go out there and run with Diaz and Gonzalez and Pablo Reyes. But that's just another way. So if it is Cervelli to decide to trade because his package is unbelievable, then maybe they go and get, maybe they do reinvest that money and get a legit outfielder, and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm just saying, I think there's a chance because
I feel like
this is the guy in his last year, and the Pirates, they don't really keep those guys.
Yeah, but I feel like they could go get that outfielder anyway and still keep Cervelli. It's only one more year, So it's you're paying him. He's on the books, but we talked about the money that comes off. That money's coming off. So it's I think he's, hit the antics, I feel like he's almost like the heart and soul of the team. And, I'm not saying that we're putting a value on that.
He's got that AJ Burnett-ish.
Yeah, and I just don't see them making that trade. I don't really think they need to at this point. The payroll. It's one thing if say we had signed a couple guys last year and payroll was we still had McCutchen or something and payroll was sitting around $100 million or over it. Then I could see them making that deal. But I feel like right now it's unnecessary. They don't need to.
Yeah.
Unless maybe there's a trade for a shortstop or an outfielder, and the team needs a catcher, and maybe that makes sense. But who knows? You rarely see a major league player for a major league player type trade.
I'll just say this: if they were to trade him, the Marlins are doing us a big favor because there's not many teams that want to pay the price the Marlins are shopping Real Muto for. So that could definitely help in the favor for the Pirates. All right, so we'll move on. We spoke about Polanco. So 23 home runs, 260 average, 330 on base.
I don't even want to talk about it. It just makes me sad.
13 WRC plus. He's definitely above average player. He's close to a 3 WAR player if he stays on the field for 146 games.
Which he doesn't.
Just real quick, do you think has Polanco? See, this is all weird though. Is Polanco has he arrived more or less? Is he going to be an everyday player that we know going forward? Maybe not superstar, but he's a good player.
I think definitely everyday player, yeah, but I think he was that player already. As far as has he arrived? I mean, I think we talked about this a couple months back, and you said yes, and I said, I still want to see more. It's these injuries. It's these stops. As soon as he gets going, he runs into a wall or blows his knee out or falls down in the outfield. Like it's these stops and starts, stop and go. I don't know. It's like he can't get going and stay healthy and stay on the field and stay consistent. And that's why for me, I don't think he has arrived. Now, when he's healthy, when he comes back, yeah, he's going to be on the field. He's going to be your right fielder, but it's that other factor. It's kind of like the boneheaded, slide that he did that got himself injured. It's just the awkwardness. That's what throws it off for me.
All right, Ryan, Big Dick. They're more or less. Steamers is projecting a 1.9 WAR.
A little bigger dick this year.
But they're more or less saying like he's going to go back to what he was. I mean, we saw him when he came here. The power more or less went away. He was a high average guy. Didn't get on base a whole lot, but it was definitely better than what he was. The glove was certainly there. Yeah. But they're projecting the glove to go back down.
Yeah.
21 home runs, 270 average, 317 on base. Just a 109 WRC plus. I don't know. I look at this and say it's going to be better. I saw a lot out of him last year that make me feel like he's good offense. I mean, he won a Gold Glove. And so again about defense, like that's something he worked on. He showed it. I think he can sustain.
Did we even talk about that? Him winning a Gold Glove?
I don't know.
Yeah, Corey Dickerson, man, Gold Glove winner.
Oh, by the way,
we might have. But
I don't know. Like, does the power come back? Isn't that kind of weird though too? I mean, that's what he's been known for. He's came up as a power back.
Well, I mean, so he had 13 home runs last year. He, 8 more. They're projecting him for 8 more, 21. I mean, well, obviously, would I love the power, to have 20-plus power again? Of course. But this projection makes sense. I mean, these projections are regression to the means. I don't know what Steamer does if they're taking, the past 2-3 years and kind of
3
and averaging them. So is it 3? So that's why. I mean, that defensive
with
numbers.
With other calculations involved,
Right, probably, the whole career too. But those defensive numbers that are down, I mean, it makes sense because he was a poor defender in Tampa. Now, Steamer projections don't throw in there all the work that he's, we've read about all the work. They've done a ton of articles on how he came and he wanted to be a better outfielder. And, look at the numbers he had last year, and he wins a Gold Glove. He was basically recognized for it. Say what you will about a Gold Glove, and all that. But, I mean, look, a Pirates outfielder winning a Gold Glove, that's pretty significant. That a guy that isn't hitting like 40 home runs. Like, you're not known for your bat per se, and you're winning. I mean, he had a good year with the bat, but it wasn't like, nationally he was known really. So
right.
For him to win a Gold Glove, off of the defense, that I think that shows kind of the trending towards the sabermetrics and the other type of fielding stats too, which is good. But it's also pretty significant because usually you don't see that with the Pirates.
You get the best barrels ever, dude.
So I think I'm not worried about the projections on the defensive numbers. The home runs, because he hit, what he hit 2 years ago. He hit,
a lot.
Yeah,
he was dripping with power.
Yeah, he went from 27 home runs to 13. Now he had 35 doubles in PNC Park. So I think a little more power will come. So 21's about average between those two, so that makes sense. It'll be interesting to see if he hits, for a high average again, 300. So that was, I think, the most surprising part of his game, that he, went back to a 300 average because he really wasn't that hitter after he left Coors. He was just more basically power. So, so it makes sense. I'm not worried about it. I think Dickerson will be fine. And like I said, maybe some of those doubles, a couple more of those doubles will end up as home runs, and that's fine. But I'm hoping the defense stays steady that we saw last year, and I think he'll be fine.
Our boy, Ryan, all he does is hit. The GOAT. Adam Frazier. They're giving him a full year. They're saying you're going to get your 598 plate appearances, Adam.
10 home runs.
And, but 10. But I'll tell you what's funny, though, is they're giving him the 10, but based on, like, the way it came back last year, 10 always seems pessimistic.
A little low, yeah.
How weird is that? I mean, what if Adam Frazier really has turned into like this new player? I made like the comparison just to kind of explain and see what I'm saying, but I'm not saying he's going to be Scooter Gennett, but like Scooter Gennett just came out of nowhere with his power, and he was like Adam Frazier was on that pace per se if you take like his second half and put it for a full season. So, first off, let's just say, do you think he gets like 600 plate appearances next year? I mean, do you think the Pirates are going to say, Adam Frazier, you are our everyday second baseman, go at it?
I think so. I mean, we saw, last year he was struggling. They sent him down to the minors. But I think this year, I mean, look at the outfield, look at second base. There's some openings, DiNardo. He might end up playing right field for a good portion of the season. So I don't know if he's going to get 600 plate appearances. I mean, that seems a little high.
So you're more or less saying like the 600 is not going to come at second, but he'll get close to like 600, maybe 500 plate appearances.
I don't want to see him a whole season at second base.
Okay.
I think we both been saying his defense in the outfield's a little more reliable. Yeah.
right.
So I don't really see. I mean, 600. That's a lot of plate appearances. So, but I think what he had the last 2 years, 454 and 352 actually was down. I think this year, like he might push 500. Like we might finally see that be a little more consistent at bats. And I mean, projections. It's tough to say, hey, this guy changed his whole swing and he's a new player, and projections aren't going to like buy into that unless he does it for 2-3 years. So maybe he still could be Scooter Gennett, DiNardo. Who knows?
And what's funny is they're saying that he's going to be a better defender than Corey Dickerson. So I just want to put it out there. So Adam Frazier gets trashed for his defense. Corey Dickerson's coming off a Gold Glove year, and these projections saying that Adam Frazier's going to be better defensively. So that just kind of goes to like I said it last week. I kind of hate projections. I mean, they're kind of cool to look at, but I just hate them because there's just so much more of the human element. This is exactly what we're saying. Like, it can't take into consideration that Dickerson last year made an effort and said, I'm going to work on my defense. And he went from the Pirates going to DH to I'm a Gold Glove winner at PNC Park, one of the hardest left fields to play in. So, whatever. Anyway, so next up, Josh Bell.
Highest WRC plus projected.
Is that kind of weird? Like, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. We've been down on Josh Bell.
I mean,
we got Corey Dickerson. We got Polanco breaking out. So really had a great year. Marte's Marte. And then Josh Bell, like the disappointment, leads the team in weighted runs created plus.
I don't think it's shocking. I mean, you say disappointment, but he's been an above average hitter for 2 full seasons now. You know what I mean? And while it hasn't been the Bell we were waiting on seeing, but I mean, the talent's there. Like, the dude can hit.
Sure.
It's that consistency again.
There's a new hitting coach.
New hitting coach. Yeah, new hitting coach. Can he be more consistent?
Steamers think about that.
Can he not change up his swing, but by the day? We saw more power last year or 2 years ago than last year, and they're kind of projecting him in the middle of that. 18 home runs makes sense.
Has he been good?
800 OPS, which would be a career high for him, 802. And he's been an above average hitter. So I think naturally, 26 years old, they're projecting him to take a little bit of a step forward. I mean, I can see it. I don't think that's out of something crazy, but right. He's not projected very good defensively, DiNardo.
Yeah, I'll put it this way. Like, I can see this being one where I can kind of get on board for. Like, I think this could be the projection. I mean, it's going to be his third year. He's switched things up so many times, as you said, like, I mean, almost like at bat, he changes his swing. I mean, maybe with a new hitting coach, get some more consistency. I mean, we know the hitting coach is basically saying, like, I'm going to take your swing and perfect it. Like, I'm not here to say this is what you all have to do. I'm here to take what you got and make you a better hitter. And we saw what he could do on the minors, and he came up here and he was well, and then it's just like he went to shit. So maybe he can do better because we know he has the talent, and usually talent prevails. So I'm for it. Maybe he will end up being like the best hitter on the team next year. Now the defense, that's something that speaks to itself.
Well,
and he is also projected to be the worst defender, so that I can get.
Maybe Dickerson could rub off. Dickerson and rub off. No, pun intended.
Pause.
Maybe he could rub off on Bell a little bit and maybe pick some.
We have some bad hombres here
defensively, and maybe he can make a turnaround. Who knows?
Sure.
But defensively is going to be a question mark. But the bat, it wouldn't surprise me to